Hey everyone, Phobos here, coming out with another build demonstration. This one's for the Divine Ire Totem Ascendant, and I'll get right into it. So using multiple totem, control destruction, Divine Ire, Fuse channeling, hypo, and faster casting. Now, infuse channeling, you actually don't gain infusion, but you still get 39% more, which is why we're using that. And you do cold damage and plenty to chill, so that's why we're using hypo. It's a really strong damage link. In terms of multiple totems, initially I didn't think you would use this because, the totems do damage in like a radial effect out around them. So I was thinking if you had two of those, it would you'd have like almost like a Venn diagram effect where the AoE would sort of eat into each other. You'd have like a dead zone where they're not hitting anything. But obviously, as it turns out, Divine Ire is not doing damage to everything in the AoE. Right? It can only hit so many targets, so having two totems there really helps with that. It prevents them from getting like overwhelmed and dying, for example. And you get two beams, which is really nice because it helps clean up any like tanky Legion rares. So yeah, I would ultimately just recommend this. You could probably swap it out for bosses if you want, but it also really helps getting your curses up stacked on you quick, which is good for your self-flagnation. And then the main part of the build, I would say, is the Devouring Diadem. We are EB MOM, and in terms of you can sustain our mana casting fine, as you can see, and even when we take big damage, if we were to get completely depleted, usually you have a totem active anyway that's helping you out because you have 7, and then on top of that you have Feast of Flesh every 5 seconds, so it like what that does is restores health and ES just like flat, so you'll pretty much just shoot up to full ES once it consumes a couple corpses. And this build doesn't really destroy corpses with freeze that much. It's like, like you all kill some of them, not all of them, so there's plenty of corpses to go around basically all the time. And we use this to run mainly 4 auras, or 3 auras and a herald, and we put, Hatred, Zealotry, Wrath on a level 4 Enlighten in this. Then we have Enlighten level 3 and Herald of Ash on a 15% reduced mana reservation shield with 1% reduced mana reservation jewel there, 1% reduced mana reservation jewel there, and then the Sovereignty Cluster. A lot of reduced mana reservation. Obviously, if you don't have the money to afford some of that, you can come down and get like Charisma, or come over here and get reduced mana reserve that way. I would say the easiest thing if you can't afford it is just cut out Herald of Ash, because that's the weakest one, and I'm only really running it on this build because I can, without much with pretty much like minimal other investment, right? And if I couldn't do that, I wouldn't like sacrifice a bunch of crit to run it or anything like that. 2 Might of the Meeks on the life wheel to get some life, and this Watcher's Eye is pretty good. These are actually relatively cheap, so don't worry too much about this being super expensive. And let's do our little Hydra map for you.
China!
Not a bad start. The clear on this, I would say, is like okay. Not the best, not the worst. As you get more damage, definitely notice it becoming better. Seven totems, as always, actually feels really nice for Legion, because you can kind of just place and move, and it's not like you're removing the totems that you had behind you. So usually for Legions, obviously I'll try and space out my stuff. I hit my focus here because it gives like more cast speed, and I'll show you what I have particularly on my helm. Probably isn't the best job of breaking stuff out here. Yeah, that's not bad. It's pretty much the whole thing, I would think. Fucking volatiles, dude. Just have to be a little careful because these things are pretty gross sometimes. As you can see, like that just does so much damage. I would probably say I would only feel comfortable using this as like a hardcore or softcore build, unless you're using it strictly for bossing, in which case I think it would be fine on hardcore because it does like really good boss damage. But with the Legion in the game, it's just, I don't know, I just really don't like it. Legions makes a lot of things not viable, I would say. Definitely removing some of the fun out of the game. You really want to make sure you have a bleed flask because bleed will kind of fuck your thing. Should also probably have a Vol disc, which I don't have going right now.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
I hate how terrible movement still feels in this game. I'm gonna actually just reset to get flasks, since that's kind of like a big part of the boom factor of this build. And I'm gonna build up outside because I think as soon as you go in this room and start casting, the balls start here. So yeah, our helm gives us basically non-damaging ailment duration, which we use in order to
I have nothing more to give.
keep shocks up, essentially. You can't see like anything that goes on in this room when you have like a skill that has large effects. It's so stupid.
America.
So it kills pretty quickly.
Far too much baggage.
A little bit sloppy there by me, but obviously not terrible. I don't think I had my curse on, to be honest. This is only like level 88, is it? So I'm probably gonna take this to at least like 95 because it's relatively getting there is pretty easy. So I'll be able to scoop up Throat Seeker and probably some more damage. Maybe I'll come down and grab Fangs of the Viper. Or I'll get Precision here for more cast speed or something. Cast speed is actually relatively important on this because it affects the charge up time. So just something to keep in mind there. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. This is the duration of ailments thing I was talking about, and then I have the gloves, the attack and cast speed. And let's go once over the gear. This is a weapon that's not multi-modded yet. I need to like clean it and then multi-mod it, and it'll be a lot better. So we still have a lot of damage to get, but it's pretty good for now. And maybe I'll make like another video when it's in its final form or something like that. But until then, this is the build, so if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching.